Welcome back, everybody, to the Denver Broncos franchise on Madden 20. Year 4 has begun. Welcome to the preseason, where for the 4th consecutive year in the series, we have a new starting quarterback. Now it's Taquan Layton, and I hope he's the starter for the foreseeable future. Today's episode is all about the preseason highlights, and you'll get an idea of how I want this offense to be run this season with Layton as the quarterback, and we also brought in Tereus Phillips, a first-round running back, and Donovan Jennings, and then defensively, Damon Harrison and Boogie Turner are now Denver Broncos. It's a really exciting year. The offseason gave us a lot of challenges, but I like what I did with the overall roster. We've had a very good defense throughout the series, and I expect that to be the case again this year. To me, the story of year 4 is how much better does the offense get, and how ready is Taquan Layton for the starting role. With his superstar development, I wanted to see him get the chance to play to develop faster, so welcome to the Taquan Layton experience, year 4 of the Denver Broncos franchise. Let's get this going now. You'll see mostly offensive highlights. That's how these videos tend to go. And in the beginning of the preseason, I was just trying to get comfortable with the offense, and that's difficult when you're up against Khalil Mack. So we started very slowly. Here's 3rd down, and Layton going short for Noah Fant. No first down there. Not much happening for us on our first couple possessions. How about the Bears? Tarik Cohen bouncing off defenders and breaking free across midfield for a 79-yard touchdown. Unfortunately, Cohen would suffer a season-ending injury actually later in the game. Here's Drew Lock, remember him? Going deep to Allen Robinson, who got behind Eric McKinney. We are going to see some change this year in the secondary. Chris Harris will play mostly in the slot. I don't see him doing a whole lot else. Eric McKinney will get more chances, and we'll see how he performs. There's a nice play at the goal line by Harris. He gets the interception. And with our final snaps here with the offense, here's Curtis Samuel getting a block and breaking this back the other way. He's inside the 10 with a 38-yard catch and run. Layton 4 of 6 at this point and trying to finish the first game strong. Here he escapes the pocket, across the middle, touchdown Noah Fant. That's one thing I expect to see a lot of from Layton, playmaking outside the pocket. You're going to see a lot of Hudson Brooks in this video. He is now the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart and connects here with Miles Starkey. But given he has star development, I still see him as a good backup for the future. Here he hands this off. Donovan Jennings showing some power. He had one of the best strength and speed combos in the draft. Here's Brooks now on the rollout. He can get outside the pocket, but he's a lot more inconsistent than Taquan Layton. We've seen him now for a couple years. Brooks still improving as a passer. And here's a play just a little bit later, and he's going across the middle for Hakim Butler. We traded for Butler because I wanted to add some new wide receivers. Here is a give, and Jennings again up the middle, getting a nice lane. He's inside the 15. Let's jump ahead in the backfield. Marion Peppers, little play action here. And Brooks across the middle. There's Butler again. We developed a play action pass offense last season. We'll see a lot more of it this year. And you're also going to see a running back by committee offense with Marion Peppers, Royce Freeman, Donovan Jennings, and Marcus Green. Here's a nice play over the middle. Now it's Miles Starkey holding on to this one for the first down. Hudson Brooks 8 of 10 at that point. Let's see a little bit of this defense now, and we get some pressure. Markel Pittman is someone I've been developing with star development. He gets the sack. Let's go back to the offense later on. Hudson Brooks, short throw and caught. Here is Tereus Phillips. He has not played much in the first 2 years of his career, so I wasn't sure how he would perform. He did play a little bit here with the backups and the starters as we get another sack. Now that's Vic Beasley. Continuing on in the 3rd quarter, 1st and 10 for Hudson Brooks. He lets the play develop, and there is Hakim Butler again with the reception, getting some nice catches here in his first action. We also gave a lot of carries to Jennings, and here he falls forward, another good carry. Broncos work inside the 10 on 3rd down to the end zone. How about a touchdown for Hakim Butler? This was his game to show what he could do, and he made the most of his chances. 4th quarter, Dustin Payment, yes, the undrafted quarterback from the Kalispell Warhawks. He completes the pass to Kari Bigby. That's a 28-yarder. How about some defense here in the 4th quarter? Sean Bohannon's gonna go deep, and Xavier Watts will deny that one. Watts was our 2nd round pick at free safety. Dustin Payment rolling out. He has pretty good speed and gets this outside for Kari Bigby. Another catch and another 1st down. Could Payment impress here with his chances? Well, not every throw. That one was not very good at all. Last play here, Dustin Payment, 4th down, across the middle, and a great catch made. That's Kari Bigby. He and Butler impressed me in this game. I thought it was a pretty good first impression, but I did want to see a lot more from the starters. Unfortunately, Eric McKinney did suffer broken ribs in this game, but he will be back for week 1. Marion Peppers gets an upgrade, and so does Dion Price. I know a lot of you wanted to see what he could do here in his 2nd season. I have a lot of ideas for him. Let's see this offense once more. That's something we got to avoid. Fumbles, I know, are going to be a big topic. Quarterbacks fumble a lot in Madden 20. Gotta be careful. And not a good start here. That is Odell Beckham. He broke the tackle of Antoine Bayless to get that touchdown. Bayless wearing number 29 and getting some starting reps because of the injury to McKinney. Let's get downhill now with Royce Freeman running to the outside. That's a 15-yarder. And Tereus Layton on a 3rd down. Across the middle and connecting, it's Tereus Phillips. I wanted to give him the chance to start if he could impress. Here's Tereus Layton. Protection holds up, and again caught by Tereus Phillips. Another 1st down. Layton starts 6 of 8. I liked his accuracy early on. Again from the pocket, now to the end zone. That's a touchdown for Miles Starkey. Starkey's been on this team now for a few seasons after being undrafted out of Yale, and I think he's gotten better each year. Plays like that could keep him on the roster going forward. The Browns no longer have Baker Mayfield. They have Nick Mullins instead. He's trying to stretch the field. That's well defended by Justin Simmons. Let's get back to Tereus Layton. Over the middle, Dion Price. I still think he'll do a lot of the gadget plays this year. He'll play special teams, he'll catch screens. With his speed, you have a lot of options. And a flag on this ruined a touchdown, so we just celebrate out of bounds there. And let Tereus Layton take over on target to a wide open Curtis Samuel. I think you'll see a lot more quick passes like that in the offense, far more slants than in the past. I'll have to be smart about when we take our chances. Here to the end zone! Phillips ran out of space, but he did come down with the football, so that's a positive sign at least. 1st down later with the quarter winding down, and again they're able to rip the ball away from Tereus Layton. I'm going to do my best to limit the fumbles this year. It's really tough. Backups once again in the game. Cleveland football, and right through the hands of Christian Sam, who's now wearing number 41 this year. 44 is retired. I try to stay on top of those. And Cleveland running the football. This is Phillip Lindsey. And unfortunately, another injury here for Lindsey, and this would be the end of his preseason. Hudson Brooks in the game, finding Miles Starkey, creating some separation. That is a 15-yarder. Given the way his preseason started, I wanted to see a whole lot more. Here's Whitney, under pressure for Cleveland, and taken down by Tremaine Atkins. It's a pretty pivotal season for Atkins. A 2nd and 20. What do you even try here? Well, how about going deep to Hakim Butler? They gave us a little bit of room there, and Brooks made a very nice throw. 28-yard connection. Later from the 40. Short now. Here's Starkey. Gets a block and turns on the Jets. Starkey to the end zone. 40 yards just like that. Another highlight for Starkey. Does he have any more in him? Here we are down 50-14. Ignore that part. And notice the great throw from Hudson Brooks out of the pocket for Kari Bigby. I think Brooks is getting a lot better. 2nd and 16. Standing tall and delivering. Bigby again breaking to the outside. I thought Bigby was a roster bubble player going into the preseason, but he definitely impressed early. But we have to focus on the route running and some of those key receiver attributes. Here Hudson Brooks earns an upgrade. We get some of those deep accuracy and medium accuracies better. And then Miles Starkey, up to 70 overall, and he gets an incredible boost here. Route running, catching, and another point of speed. All right, Starkey, you have my attention. Let's go into game 3 here, essentially the dress rehearsal for week 1. And there's Snacks Harrison. I hope to see a lot of that this year. 3rd down for San Francisco. Garoppolo knocked away. That was Antoine Bayless making the play. So we get the football. Taquan Layton trying to show he's ready. And throwing again from the pocket. This one's a little low. Accuracy overall was good for Layton, and obviously I wasn't running a whole lot with him, not getting outside the pocket. No need to risk that kind of stuff in the preseason too much. So I guess I didn't really see exactly the offense that I planned to run, but got to see at least what players were capable of, and I was impressed by Layton, and you'll see how the preseason shaped up. We still have a long way to go. Layton waiting and wide open. This is Phillips on the reception. I wanted to see, is Phillips a starting caliber receiver? I thought of him as the replacement to Courtland Sutton when we made the trade. I'm also figuring out this backfield rotation. Could Jennings make a difference here against the starters? On 2nd down, there's the quick throw, Deion Price. I know you haven't seen a whole lot of him so far, but I really wasn't focused on getting him too involved in the preseason. Layton rolling out and missing this throw. He had Curtis Samuel open. We have to go for it here. 4th and 2. Layton converts to Marcus Green, who will be primarily a pass-catching back this season. 1st and goal. Layton doesn't like what he sees, and here he goes to the end zone. We're going to use Layton's speed this year. I just have to be very smart about when we do it. Don't want to risk injury or too many fumbles. San Francisco football. That should have been picked off. Chris Harris making a couple good preseason plays. Later on, San Francisco at their 20, trying to run inside, and Christian Baxter makes a great play, but he suffers an injury in the process, and that would end his preseason. We'll check up on injuries later on, but here's a deep ball, and Garoppolo connects. It's Reno Springs. He's in his 3rd season, and this year it looks like he's going to get a chance to play a lot more often. He got behind Antoine Bayless. Can Denver respond? Here's 3rd down for Layton, and again finding Tereus Phillips. That gets the offense across midfield. We have a lot of speed on the field with this personnel. Play action, good blitz pickup, and a deep shot for Phillips, and it's a little too far, but Layton definitely had him. How about 3rd and 10? Wide open, there's Deion Price with some room after the catch. That is 34 yards. It's amazing how much faster this offense has gotten over all these seasons. Layton throwing to the end zone, incomplete, through the hands of Deion Price, who suffered an injury on the play. Thankfully, it was not a serious injury, but he did have to leave the game, and that gave a chance to Hakim Butler. That's the play I've been waiting for. Do we have a receiver we can throw it up to in the red zone? Perhaps with Hakim Butler, we finally do. I was very impressed with Butler's play. 37 seconds to go here in the quarter, and again on target, Butler making every play we ask him to make. One more quarter here with the starters, and Leighton again lets it rip for Curtis Samuel. I didn't think we'd be this deep passing offense, but we got kind of good at it after a while, and receivers just kept making plays. Here's Miles Starkey again in traffic. 40-yard line for Taquan Leighton. Downfield for Phillips, who makes the catch. It just seemed like every receiver was trying to top whoever made the previous impressive play. Let's continue on. Taquan Leighton. Here's the speed on display, taking off, making something happen, gain of 14. I've mentioned play action quite a bit. Leighton fakes, takes a shot. There's Curtis Samuel inside the 15. That catch was longer than any of his catches last season. I love how this receiving core has come together. Taquan Leighton, again from the pocket, right on the money, Miles Starkey! This was an incredible preseason for Starkey. I could not believe it. He made so many plays, but they weren't all the same. He made catches in traffic, had the nice catch and run. I just couldn't get over how much better he's gotten. And I felt like Taquan Leighton really shined here in this third game. On the move, right on target for Tereus Phillips. The playbook's wide open. Every receiver's an option on any play. I think it's going to be a pretty fun season. Let's get to the backups now. Hudson Brooks getting another chance. And how about that throw? Not bad. He's gotten better. That's Kari Bigby. 26 more. I know we haven't talked about the defense a lot. There aren't always a lot of defensive highlights here in the preseason, especially when the backups are playing so much. But I thought we were at our best here in the red zone. Fourth down, tip to Vic Beasley, and he picks it off. That was a pretty cool play. I mentioned that Hudson Brooks is only our third quarterback on the depth chart. I didn't feel like I had to get a lot of playing time with Phillip Rivers, as Brooks makes another nice throw outside for Starkey. 46 seconds left. We don't take a knee. We're still evaluating. What a throw and a catch! Touchdown! Miles Starkey! He's unstoppable! Of course he's made the roster, but now, how much do we play him in real games? Receiver is suddenly very difficult to figure out with all the added depth and the players that we're not super familiar with yet. We get an upgrade for Taquan Leighton. Unfortunately, only 1 point of accuracy. The next upgrade is likely going to be strong arm, but overall, I'm not too worried about Leighton's accuracies. And here is the injury report. Christian Baxter dislocated his elbow. He will miss the first month of the season, much like Miles Jack did a season ago. Final game. Starters play 1 quarter. Mitchell Trubisky is the Jaguars quarterback, and we'll see this team week 2. That's a big play made against Antoine Bayless for 38 yards. Jacksonville trying to finish the drive, but we generate some pressure and eventually bring Trubisky down. That's Bradley Chubb. I knew in this game I'd have at least a couple more drives with Taquan Leighton. Here we run to the outside and Jennings gets downhill. That's a gain of 6. Here we're playing with Phillips and Samuel as the 2 starting receivers, and Leighton into coverage. Not a very good decision by me, picked off by A.J. Boye. Again, this is the week 2 opponent, so a little scouting here before we meet before too long. A check down to Darius Geis, and definitely the best hurdle of the preseason. That was pretty cool. A little more time here with the starters. Play action for Taquan Leighton. He's going to air this out, and that's Tereus Phillips again. Another big connection for this passing game, 37 yards. Let's go back to defense. Trubisky back to the air. And this pass gets knocked away. Justin Simmons makes another play on the football. Just a little more time here. We get Jennings to the outside, and he meets Ronnie Harrison. That was definitely the biggest hit on Jennings here in the preseason, but he gets right back up after a good run. Take one late and across the middle. This is picked now by Jalen Ramsey. We're probably going to have a very different kind of game plan for when this game comes up. I don't want to throw it a whole lot against this team, especially if we can play good defense. There's Snacks Harrison. And you'll notice I haven't really mentioned Boogie Turner. He was out there, he was playing, but really didn't have much of a preseason impact. He didn't play at all with the backups, and I'm sure if he did, we would have noticed him. Jacksonville rolling out of the pocket, and that is Nick Foles being taken down by Trey Betts, the undrafted linebacker. All backups the rest of the way, including Phillip Rivers. I wanted to play at least a little bit with Rivers, and there he connects with Kari Bigby, who does nothing but make big plays. I just wanted to see how Rivers' accuracy would hold up. There's a good throw, finding Hakim Butler again. Rivers was just fine here. The accuracy was very reliable. As he goes up the seam, Starkey is not finished yet. He's down to the 1-yard line. And we hand this one off. Donovan Jennings into the end zone. A little more preseason XP here with the touchdown. The backup defense didn't have many players that impressed me, especially when it came to run defense. This running back here is Blake Schneider, the second running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's about 240 pounds with 91 speed, and he gave our defense all kinds of problems here in the finale. I didn't feel like our defensive line played very well. Victor Allison did a pretty good job of block shedding, but he wasn't able to close gaps with his speed, and he wasn't able to make a lot of plays, even when he got those block sheds. Weird touchdown there for Jacksonville as they take the lead, and we get to Hudson Brooks, finding Kari Bigby, who doesn't seem to catch passes under 20 yards anymore. Here's Jacksonville later on, a 3rd down and long. We got some pressure on Nick Foles, and he's gonna go down. Tremaine Atkins gave us the best pass rush out of the second unit. But let's go ahead later. A delayed run. Schneider broke a tackle. Atkins needs to make that play there. Ball at the 17. Play action and a good jump off the line. The play is made by Justin Hollins. Jacksonville trying to finish this possession. Nick Foles out quick for D.D. Westbrook. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Back to the Denver offense, down 12, and this is Jennings with a cut. Not a bad run there, about 6-7 yards. Jacksonville again, the counter, the blocks get set up, and there's just no one to contest. Blake Schneider, who goes all the way for another Jaguar touchdown. All right, now their offense is the one having all the fun. Can we do anything here in the third? Not there. Marquez Valdez-Scantling didn't make the reception. 2nd down for Brooks. Now across the middle and reaching up. This is Nate Burke, the 2nd-year tight end who makes a great play. There's something. Now we go play action. Brooks rolls out. He has a man wide open and completely missed him. Later on in the 4th quarter, we're at the 22. Brooks to Bo Lee, and he hangs on to it for the gain of 10. Trying to get this in the end zone. How about the keeper? Brooks powers his way in for the rushing touchdown. We're defending the red zone on the Jaguars' next drive. Foles throws a jump ball, and it's picked off by Jameel Garland. That was one of our best defensive highlights for sure. Hudson Brooks in for a little more time in this game, and despite the pressure, he throws it out to Arsenio Choice, the undrafted wideout, trying to make the practice squad. And from the 17, we're going with another bootleg for Brooks. He gets all the way outside, throws it deep, off his back foot perfectly for Nate Burke. That throw made absolutely no sense, but a 44-yard connection gets us up the field. A 4th and 21, though. Brooks has a man open and missed Miles Starkey, who would have scored. Well, the Hudson Brooks show was fun for a while, but we closed the preseason with Dustin Payment. He takes off and picks up the first down with this gain of 8. We spread out this Jacksonville defense, and again getting open, Nate Burke inside the 30 of Jacksonville. I got one more play for you. This is it. Dustin Payment to the end zone, finding his college teammate, Bo Lee. Touchdown, Broncos. That's how the preseason ends. I felt like it was a pretty fun preseason this year. We threw the ball a lot, and we had a lot of big plays. Brooks and Layton had very similar stat lines. Brooks actually had a lot more yards per attempt, however. Overall, the running game wasn't anything special. Our offensive line is a little bit worse this year than it was last, so we'll see how that works out. And at wide receiver, I mean, between Starkey, Bigby, Phillips, and Butler, you had to be impressed with what you saw there. I know we didn't see a lot of, like, Deion Price, but I felt like we already know a lot about him. I wanted to see these other receivers, and they had a lot to show. For the blocking, I thought Mac Hillhouse and Norman Proctor were pretty good. They didn't allow any sacks in the preseason, so that's very positive. And defensively, I thought Justin Simmons and Chris Harris played pretty well. Von Miller, of course, played awesome. And I was also impressed by Tremaine Atkins coming off the bench. Trey Betts and Christian Sam also racked up a lot of tackles in the preseason. With that, it's time to finalize this roster and get ready for week 1. We do make one trade, trading Marquez Valdez-Scantling to the Bills for a 6th round pick. Maybe could have gotten more, but I thought it was a fair trade. No major surprises here, I don't think, to the final roster. Dustin Payment does end up on the practice squad. The only injury we have going into week 1 is to starting linebacker Christian Baxter, and it'll be a team effort to replace him. Meanwhile, the Rams, our first opponent, are missing 2 defensive starters, Nikel Roby-Coleman and Michael Brockers. But with that, we are now ready for the start of year 4 and week 1 against the Rams. I know we didn't get a lot of I formation looks in the preseason, but that's going to be one more thing I add to the offense. And I might even add a few more spread looks with how this receiver depth is looking. But in week 1, we're going to see Trey Betts start for Christian Baxter at linebacker. Betts was undrafted, but he has some good run-stopping skills and showed up in the preseason. But when it comes to third downs and our nickel package, Christian Sam is going to play. He's simply a better cover player. And also, I think we're going to start this season with Miles Starkey in the slot. I want to see what he can do after that monster preseason. We're still going to see Deion Price, and I'll have to do a lot of different formation subs for various situations, but you're going to see a lot of different players utilized in different roles. By the way, nobody yet has signed Adam Kane. He's still a free agent, the top-rated free agent quarterback, and no one has signed XFL MVP PJ Walker either. So what do you think going into year 4? What did you think of the offseason and the preseason? Are you hopeful for this coming season? I feel like our offense was better than I expected at passing in the preseason. I'm just hoping we can run the ball well. I still think we have to run quite a bit as Layton develops as a player, but if he can make big plays, that's going to take a lot of pressure off the defense and the rest of the offense. So I'm very excited for week 1 to come your way very soon against the Los Angeles Rams. Thank you all for watching. Please leave your feedback below, and don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Year 4 is about to begin for real, and I can't wait. Have a great day, everybody.